everyone and welcome to today's very exciting video. These are some of my favorite to watch on YouTube, so I'm really excited to film this. As you can see behind me, these are my bookshelves and I got these back in I would want to say 2021, so it's been a good 4 years. As you can kind of see, I've started double stacking books because now I've just run out of space because I've bought way too many books recently. So in today's video, I want to unhaul and donate some books. Apart from that though, as some of you may know, I'm currently in Sydney for university and this is my parents' home. And I find that because I'm renting right now in Sydney, moving around with books is just really, really hard. So I've decided to just bring all my books back to Canberra. So I have 2 boxes full of just books, which I need to try fit into this as well. So basically I need to get rid of some books, fit in some extra books I have, and then I also just want to completely change up how the books are currently formatted and placed. So you guys can come along with me for that. Before we get started though, let me just give you a quick tour of what the bookshelf is currently looking like. So here's a quick overview of the bookshelves. As you can see, I kind of have it split by halves. So I mainly have my fantasy on this side and then my romance on this side. But there's also some random other genres mixed in there. So for example, this top shelf here is dystopian. There's a bit of dystopian, kind of some mystery, and then a bit of fantasy as well. And then more fantasy. I read fantasy a lot, so I have a lot of fantasy books. And then on this side, these are kind of I don't even know what this is. This is I think this is my kind of miscellaneous shelf of random stuff. And then this is the only space I have left really. And then I don't know, there's a bit of mystery here, and then it's romance, some more romance, and then this is kind of my classic / literary fiction shelf, and then down here is just books I read in my childhood which I'm emotionally attached to, so I don't want to get rid of those. So yeah, that's what's currently going on. As you can see, it's all just a bit of a mess, and I don't really know what's going on, to be honest, so we're gonna fix that. I do know that I still want to kind of categorize it by genre, so I think the first thing we should do is take all the books out and kind of stack them by genre and where they belong. Okay, everything's out of the shelf now. I did not think it was gonna take that long, and also why was it such an exercise? I was puffed trying to get all the books out. For the bottom 2 shelves, I actually didn't even bother taking them out because I think those books are gonna stay where they are and I didn't want to donate any of them, so to save myself the hassle, I just left them there. Now I'm also going to unpack the books that I brought back from Sydney. Okay, my head's cut off right now, but in these 2 boxes, these are what I brought back from Sydney. And in here somewhere there are some books, so I kind of need to dig them out and add them to these piles which I have going on. Here's some more. I just found these leaves in the boxes, and funny story, these were actually bought for my bookshelf to decorate around them. And then I took them to Sydney and I decorated my dorm, and then I moved out and I still took these with me, and now they're back here. So it's a bit of a full circle moment for these. I don't know, I feel these are such a 2020 COVID accessory which everyone had. So I don't know whether these are going to go back up on my bookshelves or if they're just going to go in the bin. Okay, I believe I have all my books out now. And now is the fun part where I get to actually start putting them back in the shelves and thinking about how I want to arrange them all. And I have a strong feeling this is going to take some trial and error to see what I actually like before something sticks. Before I do that though, the shelves are really dusty and this is the perfect opportunity to dust them because, I mean, when else are you not going to have any books in your bookshelves? While looking at the empty bookshelves, trying to plan where I'm going to put everything, it's such a throwback moment because I remember all these different phases that I went through, which I feel is such a canon event for all book lovers. So firstly, I had rainbow bookshelves at one point. I'll have images everywhere, but I had rainbow bookshelves, and then I went through an alphabetical order phase. That one was really hard to upkeep. And then I went through a phase where I wanted my room to be this beige aesthetic thing, and then my books, because they were so colorful, they were ruining the aesthetic. So guess what I did? I literally turned every single book around so it was the pages facing outwards, and I could never ever find what book I was looking for, and I'd have to turn all the books around and try figure it out. That was actually so stupid, and so many of my friends called me out on that, but I was like, it looks nice, but like in hindsight, you were right to call me out. Anyways, I think now we're in a much more sensible phase where I'm just gonna put things in here by genre so it's easy to find. I think I'm still gonna do mainly fantasy on the left and then romance on the right. I don't know, those are all the thoughts I have so far. I don't really have like too many books of other like genres because I predominantly read fantasy and romance. Actually, something that I just remembered is I don't really have like a TBR car or anything like that, so I feel like I want to put books on my more immediate TBR like right in the middle on this side, because if it's like right in the middle then it's staring at me and then it'll like remind me of my physical TBR basically. So I think I'm gonna do that. The books just collapsed. Sorry for the annoying lighting, but I'm officially done now, so let me give you a bookshelf tour. So these are all the books that I'll be getting rid of and donating. Actually, I was planning to make a video showing you guys all the books I've recently bought, so maybe I'll make that into like a book haul slash unhaul video and I'll show you all the books that I'm getting rid of as well. Okay, so here's an overview of the shelves. Okay, starting with this first shelf, it is a little bit random, but because it is the top shelf, I decided to put books that I don't reach for as often up here. So I have some dystopian, and then it kind of goes into fantasy, which I don't reach for, slash fantasy, which I haven't read yet. And stuff here would either be books that I didn't like or books that aren't on my immediate TBR. Okay, I'll do these two shelves together, but these two are like my prized possession, like fantasy shelves. So these are all books that I've read and absolutely loved, so anything you can see here is kind of that. Obviously, I have my Akatar, Once Upon a Broken Heart, Fourth Wing special editions, and I actually do have the special edition for Onyx Storm as well, but I accidentally left that in Sydney, so I'll bring that back some other time. But when it does come, it's not going to be like a perfect fit anymore, so I don't actually know what I'll do once that comes. I'll probably get rid of one of these books actually. I accidentally bought like a duplicate, so I have two of them. And then down here, I don't actually know why I have two Crescent City books, but they take up so much space, so I'm thinking I'll give one of them to my friends or maybe donate it as well. And then it kind of goes into Throne of Glass, and then these are some of my favourite fantasy books here. Let me take this out actually. I actually only have one book in the Zodiac Academy series because if you know, these books are so hard to get in Australia and they're so expensive as well. Each book is like $30 to like $40, which is actually crazy. So I just bought like my favorite book in the series. And also I thought it was very fitting because I'm a Pisces and like the front is a Pisces. And then down here, the fantasy continues, but these are fantasy books that I reach for more often. And I kind of try to do things by like book height order, but like, for example, here, if I put this here, it kind of like breaks up the Cruel Prince series. So some of it's like a little bit weird, so I did my best, but honestly, I'd rather have series next to each other than have like perfect height order. So it's a little bit messed up here, but it's pretty close to perfect. Now the second last shelf on the left side actually has some space for me to add books when I eventually get them. I know it's not a lot of space, but honestly, it's better than before, so I'll take it. So this is kind of like my sci-fi slash dystopian shelf. I don't know why I have two copies of Shatter Me. I don't know why I have two copies of a lot of books. I have the whole Shatter Me series. I don't actually know if this is the right order. I don't remember the order of these books. Also, this like book cover change in the middle here is kind of annoys me, but it's okay. It's on the bottom, so hopefully I won't see it as much. And then these are kind of like sci-fi books. I don't actually have a lot of sci-fi books, so I just put them all here. And actually, I don't even know if some of these are sci-fi, but I read the blurb and they kind of seem like sci-fi, so I just put them here. Oh my gosh, let me put this here. And then these are kind of more like my childhood like fantasy books. So you have the Harry Potter series, like one Percy Jackson book, and then some of Cassandra Clare's books. And so that is it for the left shelf. Now moving on to this right shelf. Okay, I moved some stuff around for high order's sake, but I feel like this shelf is also really random. I feel like both of my top shelves, they're kind of just like a bit miscellaneous right now. But basically, half of this is like literary fiction because I don't really read that genre too much. It's like up to here. From here to the end, it's like a mix of classics, autobiographies, self-help books. And then I also have like 2 Chinese books, so I just put them there. It's actually so random. And the height order of this shelf does kind of annoy me, but again, it's at the top, so hopefully I won't see it too much because I'm not that tall. Now for this second shelf, honestly, these 2 books are like literary fiction books. Like this is Tom Lake, and this is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. But because of like the nice sprayed edges, I want them like closer to like eye level for me. But I don't know, this like height order thing, I kind of have to figure that out a bit. Maybe if I just move this like, oh wait, but that breaks up Emily Henry. Maybe I'll just chuck it on this side for now. Okay, you know what, that'll do. But this is kind of like my romance shelf, so I have Emily Henry, which isn't really romance, but she fits on this shelf. So I don't know why like from here to here all the books like really blue, so I might need to fix that around a bit. Also Bride by Ali Hazelwood is here. I know it's not really romance, but I don't really have anywhere else to put it, so I'm just putting it next to my other Ali Hazelwood book. I love that it's all like pastels and colourful, and then there's just like one black book. I know it looks a bit strange, but if it really bothers me, I'll end up moving it. But yeah, more romance books. I also have a duplicate of this. I have so many duplicates, I should probably get rid of some of them, but these are like books I really like, so I don't know, it feels wrong to be like getting rid of them almost. Now down to this third shelf, this is still like romance, so I have like not that many dark romance books. I literally only have 3, so those 3 live here. And then it goes into Binding 13 and then the Windy City series. These are kind of like sports romances. I know like this isn't technically sports romance, but I'm just going to put these next to each other, and the height of them is very satisfying. And then I have Magnolia Parks and this other Jessa Hastings book. I know this also isn't really romance, but it goes well next to Magnolia Parks. And then this is kind of overflow from my like TBR shelf. So this, just imagine like a separator here. So yeah, this is kind of where like my immediate TBR starts. And then it runs down here. So I think I originally said that I wanted my TBR shelf here, but I feel like the books are kind of like random and messy to be like to eye level, so I'm just putting them down here. And again, this is kind of just ordered by like height order, so like all the big books are here and then kind of goes down there. So I guess you can have a quick look at my immediate TBR. This book absolutely terrifies me. If you've seen anything about it, you'll know why. And like, why is it so thick? Like, I feel like the size of this is like maybe like 3 of these books. And now this is my second last shelf on the right side, and as you can see there's some space on this side here, and I do quite like how it's like symmetrical from that side. And this is kind of where my mystery books lie. So I have all of these Jennifer Lynn Barnes books, and then kind of just goes over here. The Secret History, I do really want to read that. And then yeah, maybe I'll eventually collect more mystery books, but yeah, quite empty. Now this last shelf here is just like a time capsule of books I read growing up and some of my favorite ones, along with like this side as well. So this is kind of what these shelves are. So, you know, I have John Green. It doesn't really fit, but like, honestly, I don't really mind the books being like that. Also like Ruby Redford, Geek Girl, Friday Barnes, Alice Miranda, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Like, yeah, these are all books that I love, and a lot of these I got from like the Scholastic stochastic, what was it called? Scholastic, was it that? I don't know, like that book fair. If you ever went to primary school in Australia, you'll know what I'm talking about. And then this is like a Snoopy magazine I got when I was in Japan, so I don't know, that just like lives down here. And then I have some picture books as well, which are very fond memories from me from childhood. Like, I think this book I won from like winning a colouring competition in kindergarten or something like that. So I'm not ever going to get rid of these, but yeah, these live here for now, but honestly I might move these somewhere else when I run out of more space on my shelves. And yeah, once again, here's like an overview of everything. I actually love how it looks right now. Anyways, that is the end of today's video. If you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you around soon. Bye!